newsroom, which indicate that there has been a shooting outside the Central Police Station just a few minutes ago involving a police officer and a civilian. Now, our reporter Alfric Otieno from Radio Maisha is currently at the scene and joins us live on phone. Now, Alfric, what exactly is going on at Central Police Station?
Thank you very much, Edith. Yes, I'm right at the compound of Central Police Station where a shooting occurred. That is about 50 minutes ago. A young man came to the police station and found some officers who were manning the gate. And in the process of interrogation, before he could be allowed in, he pulled out his panga and hacked the police officer on the head. The OCPD, Central Police Station, says that they've managed to get some few documents from the young man who was shot, and apparently they've discovered that he had a mental problem and he's been undergoing treatment at Madari Hospital. So far, the body has been moved to City Mortuary as investigations are continuing.
All right. Now, Alfric, you did mention earlier that his next of kin have not yet been found.
Now, yes, the OCPD says that they have not managed to locate the next of kin, and they've refused also to reveal the names of the young man to us until such a time that once the next of kin has been found and informed about what happened, that is when they'll be able to release the name to the media.
Alfric, let me take you back. You did say, mention something about him being at the police station, but why was he there? Because that seems to be unclear at the moment.
Yes, okay, the motive of the attack has not also been established, but what I gather is that he came as a normal civilian coming to report a case, and that is why, because of the terror threat, the police are manning their gate. So the police manning the gate wanted to know why he's coming to the police station before they could let him move to the OB desk. But in that process, that is when he managed to hack the police officers. We have not I've not managed to talk to the police officer who was hacked to know what happened, what happened between him and the young man, because apparently he's still receiving treatment at Kenyatta Hospital and he would come back home later.
All right. Do we know whether or not he got serious injuries or not, the police officer?
According to the OCPD, he's out of danger.
All right. Thank you very much, Alfric Otieno from Radio Maisha, who's currently outside Central Police Station where shooting occurred after a man who has now been reported to have had a mental illness walked into the police station and hacked a police officer before he was shot dead. To other news now, and Ndia Member of Parliament Stephen Ngare has this morning assured his constituents that he is safe after a man attempted to slash him yesterday. In the process, Ngare's bodyguard and a head teacher of the school he was visiting at the time, they were seriously injured while attempting to protect the MP. The man was shot 3 times, leading to his death on the spot. Now, Ngare further clarified that the attack was not politically instigated.
I wish to extend my condolences to the family of the assailant, Mr. Mushoki, and may God rest him in eternal peace. I also wish Mr. Washira, the headmaster, and my bodyguard, Mr. Musumbu, quick recovery. I wish to assure my constituents and all my friends that I am not hurt but shaken, and I will continue to serve dear people with the same zeal as I have been doing hitherto. I wish to thank God for his protection and my bodyguard for his devotion to duty. I didn't know the assailant, neither can I say it's political at this juncture. The police are doing investigations.
A rally call to voice opposition to the push for a referendum ended prematurely after pro- and anti-referendum residents of Nandi County clashed. The rally had been organized by a section of Nandi residents allied to the United Republican Party. Now, the residents who dismissed calls for a referendum accused Nandi Governor Cleophas Lagat of not consulting all county stakeholders before making a blanket decision, saying that the county was in support of the plebiscite. But supporters of the governor disrupted the rally. Several supporters of the governor, including the county's chief chief of staff were injured. Security officers, however, managed to quell the chaos as the rally prematurely came to an end.
Sisi tutasimama tukiwa wakaaji wa Nandi. Nataka kusema ya kwamba mambo ya pesa mashinane inaweza kupitishwa na bunge, haihitaji mambo ya referendum. Sisi tukiwa bunge tunaweza kupitisha pesa ikuje kwa mashinane, lakini hatuhitaji mambo ya referendum. Wabunge wanaweza maliza hiyo maneno. Bora iletwe audit accounts ya hizo miaka zingine yote.
Sisi tutasimama na viongozi wetu katika kaunti yetu ya Nandi kushikilia usukani. We are going to work with national government, but we want to tell our governors, dissociate from pesa mashinani because it is an opposition agenda. Sawa sawa.
The Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association is working out 4 strategic plans that will help young people meet their target standards countrywide. The Association Secretary General David Ocheng says young people need access to education, health, employment and entrepreneurship, effective presentation and public participation, especially in rural and marginalized areas.
How do we engage the young people of this country? Not only you who are here, but the young people wherever they are. Because as you would know, Kenya is moving at a very good pace, and you'll find young people in very good positions, even in blue chip companies nowadays. So what we want to look at, how can we measure the young people and ensure that we are able to consolidate whatever gains that we've made in that area, and ensure that the young people can access opportunities, not only for employment, but also for wealth creation.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union has brought to an end the resident trainee doctors strike that has been ongoing in Kenyatta National Hospital after an agreement between the union and the Ministry of Health. Now, they have expressed concern over how the health sector is being handled by government, maintaining that the sector services shouldn't have been transferred to the counties. They urge the government to address other issues that may crash the health sector in general.
Kids can go through 8 years or 12 years of education and they can't write, they can't express themselves effectively in writing, neither can they read effectively. That's a very, very sad state of affairs. And the Kenya Publishers Association, basically, the reason it exists is to ensure that every child and every youth and every adult in Kenya is able to read.
So I agree with you that something needs to be done urgently. And from where we stand, the first thing that needs to be done is review the curriculum, relieve the load from the child, and to enhance free time for the child. If we can achieve that in the new curriculum, we will be on our way to ensuring that children are reading for leisure. Because even now they are reading, but they are reading.
We apologize for that mix-up. That was obviously not the Doctors Union, but a story on education curriculum, which we'll have for you later. But right now, residents of Kombewa in Kisumu County are living in terror as 2 rogue assistant chiefs increasingly turn to corporal punishment as a solution to local disputes. Now, the National Government Administration officers have allegedly consolidated their grip in the area to the extent that residents dare not speak about their infractions with outsiders. Fredo Mulo brings us this story.
The market centers of Kombewa in Kieni Constituency have been reduced to a terror town where residents only speak in whispers. The sheriffs who run this town have turned to an old tool of the provincial administration to instill their version of order. Several victims of the officers' wrath spoke out to KTN about their experiences in private.
He
told me to lie down and I obeyed. Once I was down, he beat me up, and on that day I had not had breakfast. He beat me up so badly until I fainted.
Simple disputes between family members have become fodder for the insatiable assistant chiefs who publicly whip even adults, mostly women, during working hours. To further tighten their grip on the locals, they have allegedly set up a vigilante made up of motorcycle taxi operators, many who refused to talk to us as we sought the chiefs.
I have heard of complaints, but I don't know whether they have reached to the DO.
from other people?
From other people. It is something that is obvious. Wherever there is a meeting with those people, they just come with their cane.
It started caning me. He started caning me very hard. And then after caning me, I faint.
When KTN traced the chiefs to a forum between them and the residents aimed at discussing the issue, they chose to leave without granting interviews. Their superior, the district commissioner, who has been in charge for the last 5 years, denied receiving reports of their infractions.
Please let us not over-sensationalize issues and victimize even very hard-working chiefs. Because some of the chiefs you have mentioned are very hard-working.
But a social worker who deals with marginalized groups in the area gave a different story.
The lady has reported, and I was with her in the DC's office last week on Tuesday. She was there with us. Then, yeah, the lady was there. The DC brought us at least a file of the letters that the lady has been writing to him, complaining.
The stories from Kombewa are reminiscent of the defunct provincial administration in its heyday, while operating under the Chiefs Act that gave state officers wide powers over the populace at the grassroots. Fred Omulo, KTN, Kisumu County.
Very bizarre story from Kisumu County. Elsewhere, a section of Kenyans who work in Saudi Arabia have come out to refute reports of harassment by their Arabian employers. The workers say that such incidents only occur to the employees who do not report to their destined place of work and instead turn to luring freelancers. It is in such situations, they say, that workers are not protected by the regulations put in place for workers in Saudi Arabia.
Nikaanza kusikia ati fununu watu wanalala na umbwa mara mambo zingine mingi, nikashangaa cause mimi huko sikupata hata umbwa, na si place moja tu tulikuwa tuna visit places sasa ma friends zao, so sikupata vitu kama hizo.
Passport yangu venye nilifika kwa airport ya huko sikuiona tena, lakini pale yenye nilikuwa naenda kupanguza passport yangu ilikuwa inaekwa hapo. Kwa hivyo siwezi chukua tu walikuwa wamenifichia passport.
Well, stakeholders in the education sector have raised concern over the delay in reviewing the education curriculum a year after it was due for evaluation. The Kenya Publishers Association have faulted the government, saying it was going against the law, which requires the curriculum to be reviewed every 5 years. They're also calling for an overhaul of the curriculum, which they say is tilted towards examinations as opposed to imparting analytical skills and acquisition of knowledge.
Kids can go through 8 years or 12 years of education and they can't write, they can't express themselves effectively in writing, neither can they read effectively. That's a very, very sad state of affairs. And the Kenya Publishers Association, basically, the reason it exists is to ensure that every child and every youth and every adult in Kenya is able to read.
So I agree with you that something needs to be done urgently. And from where we stand, the first thing that needs to be done is review the curriculum to relieve the load from the child and to enhance free time for the child. If we can achieve that in the new curriculum, we will be on our way to ensuring that children are reading for leisure. Because even now they are reading, but they are reading to pass the examinations.
Marking the World Rhino Day that is celebrated every 22nd September, Kenya Wildlife Service Acting Director William Kiprono has said that there is a high probability that proceeds from poaching might be used to finance terrorism activities. Speaking at the Central Park in Nanyuki town where the World Rhino celebrations were held, he noted that the population of rhinos, not just in Kenya but globally, has declined at an alarming rate. Laikipia East MP Anthony Mutahi noted that Oljogi Conservancy in Laikipia has lost 8 rhinos within the last year. The stakeholders said there was a need for KWS to initiate a rhino-based corporate social responsibility that will benefit communities engaging in rhino conservation.
We lost a number of rhinos and we were very saddened. Manake Kenya hii, if you are in your office, alafu usikie kwamba rhino in your county zimeuliwa, you get very saddened.
And I dare say it's not happenstance. Iko design hapo. They are insiders. Kwa sababu mimi nikitoka hapa nitajua faru wako wapi. Lazima kuna watu mule ndani wanahusika. Intelligence yetu lazima tupeleleze vizuri.
If we let our wildlife to be decimated to extinction, Africa will lose all the future economic potential of wildlife-related tourism, which today stands at over 120 billion in Kenya alone. It is therefore imperative that we step up measures to protect and develop our wildlife resources, and more importantly, that we eliminate illegal trade in wildlife species.
Well, let's cross over to Kieni now, where more than 300 residents of Monyo in Kieni East, which is in Nyeri County, held peaceful demonstrations protesting the poor state of the road. The construction of the road has allegedly stalled following an alleged dispute between the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, or KERA, and a road contractor. The residents say they use the road to ferry their farm product to the market, and its incomplete state is a nightmare to them, especially when it rains. The residents took issue with the contractor, who is also a resident of the area, for constructing only a quarter of the road. However, the contractor, in his defense, claimed that KERA breached the contract by reducing the agreed contract price from 3.5 million to 2.8 million. The three Kenyan teams to feature in the Safaricom Sevens this weekend will be named on Wednesday at the Kasarani Stadium. Now, the team, which has been in camp at the Brookhouse School in Nairobi, has been working on their intensity and endurance. Coach Paul Tro has incorporated new blood into the team following the boycott of some of the senior players due to the differences with the rugby union earlier in the month. The Safaricom Sevens will take place from Friday the 26th to Sunday the 29th of September.
This weekend, our focus is going to be on the Safaricom Sevens. We are super excited, to see these young boys go out there and to see what they can do, and we just, take it, one day at a time, and just see, how these guys are going to progress, and hopefully, go out there and also to win the Safaricom Sevens, because, like I said, it's a once-off opportunity, that these guys are going to get, for the supporters to see the guys, playing in front of their local supporters, and we want to go out there and give them just a memorable experience.
It's time to wind up this edition of KT and Newsdesk. Of course, not before we give you your Did You Know fact. I'm just trying to fetch it. It was sent to me yesterday. Something about the rule of thumb. Well, there we go. Did you know the phrase rule of thumb, it actually derives from an old English law which started that you couldn't beat your wife with anything wider than your thumb. How considerate of them. My name is Edith Kimani. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.